valuable. Okay. I didn't know if Leon needed to go over anything or if Andy needed to go over anything before we get situated and started here. We're all good?
I'll go first. And then Andy can come along and clear up whatever it is that I miss up. To one of the points that you had, basically, if you look at where we are for the general meeting for February, we're looking at doing a presentation, if you will, similar to what we did in January. And basically, instead of it being associated with private lending, we're going to do something associated with creative deals. And so we'll have pretty much a large portion of the same panel that we had before. And we'll go through and talk about some of the deals that we've done and the creative components associated with them. And so that's what we're planning right now. Certainly we have a couple of other options, but stay tuned to your, just go to the website, take a look at it. Right now, that's what we're planning on doing. If you look at what we talked about with the private lending, I mean, basically private lending is one of the key components to your being successful as a real estate investor. One of the things that I plan on doing is just going through and sort of doing like fundamental framework of how you would look at a deal and start a deal and think about a deal and then go through what the possible engineering of it would be given the situation that you have. So that's addresses the question, Joe, that you had associated with the general meeting.
Perfect.
The other thing I wanted to point out is Carl Weeks. He's still on the call, right? Yeah, there he is. He's still on the call, but he did and I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it, Carl. Your discussion that you had with Evan Dawson on WXXI associated with some of the things that landlords have as a challenge. I know this meeting is not associated with landlords. We've got a couple people who talked about some of the things that landlords need to do and need to address. But if you go and listen to that, I think it'll give you some insight as to what some of the things are that's going on today. Carl, excellent job of representing landlords and to some extent Freedom First, but primarily landlords in some of the situations that we are forced to deal with now that is, let's just say, challenging at best. So I think I covered most of the key things. Joe, Susan, Andy, anything you want to add?
I'm good.
Thinking, no, it's February right now.
Yep. So back to you, Mr. LaBarbera.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Leon. I appreciate the update for next month's meeting. What we're going to do here is a couple things here. We like to keep it open forum, but we're going to do what's called breakout rooms first. Okay, we're going to put about 4 or 5 people in a room. We have no idea who's going to be in what. We'll probably do it for, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 minutes. I don't know if I want to do 15 minutes. Where maybe, I don't know, Andy or Joe, can we do like 15 minutes?
Yeah, we can do 15.
Yeah, let's do that. And basically, the breakout rooms, you're going to be automatically taken into another room. Don't ask me how it works. It just does. Okay. At the same time, a couple things are going to happen here. First of all, it's a great way to network and also get to know people because obviously all the stuff going on with COVID, everything's being done virtually. So it's a good way to just get into a smaller group. Then what we're also going to do is I want everyone, to, whoever goes first, you take your first, your letter of your first name is. Jeez, can I talk today? First day of my new tongue. Sorry. that person's going to go first. Okay. Basically, just introduce yourself, what you are looking to do in real estate. I don't care if it's wholesaling, commercial, residential, flipping, whatever the heck it is. Okay. And it's January. And and basically, I want you to tell people what you're looking to do, what you want to do, and not just what you want to do, but whatever it is you need to do to get whatever the heck it is you want. And I don't care if that's being more educated or, in the field you're trying to do, be networking, talking to more real estate agents, marketing, whatever the heck it is. Okay. So everyone spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about that. And then also get to know each other. And afterwards, we're gonna be brought, as soon as it ends, we'll be brought right back here, and then we'll be able to expand on a few things, go over stuff. And I know there'll probably be some questions. Some will get their questions answered, and some will, maybe raise more questions. It works a lot better if you turn your camera on for people. If you're calling on a phone, maybe a little bit more difficult, but turn your camera on, introduce yourselves. Don't be shy here. All right. So I don't know, whenever you're ready, Joe.
Yeah, Joe, did you say how many people you would
Want
like
to do, I don't know, you want to do like 4 people, 4 or 5? It's up to you. How many people are on here? We got about 28. We're going to do 4. 4 per. That should be enough. We do 2 or 3 minutes each person. That should give us pretty much almost 15 minutes.
Now comes the hard part.
I got faith in you, Joe.
Yeah, I'm glad you do.
Oh.
Wait a second. I can't find it. What happened to it? There we go. They moved it. All right.
By the way, nobody knows who's going to end up with anybody here, so it's very random.
All right.
You almost ready, Joe? I should have warned you ahead of time. I apologize.
At 14, we'll give them 50. Yeah, it's going to stay at 14 because that's the way it is.
That's fine.
All right. Come here. Let's go.
All right. So we ended up with 5 because we had somebody drop, so it created a different number of rooms.
And your name starts with an A.
It does. I lose this game every time. All
I
right.
lose if it goes by my last name.
Yes, there you go. All right, so I'm Andy McQuaid. I am not a real estate investor. I am a full-time consultant. I work with mostly multifamily property management firms. My ideal customer is sitting somewhere between 400 and 500 doors on that side of it. And I help them get a little bit more organized and cut a whole bunch of costs. So I guess my biggest win from 2020, I had a client that I got a check cut from a vendor to them for over $30,000, and at the same time, I cut their annual expenses by 149 grand a year on one 700 unit complex. So that was a pretty good project.
Impressive.
But most of what I do, I do work as a consultant for FFREIA. I'm doing some management consulting for the group, helping them move into the 21st century because I apparently have lived on Zoom since 2018. And yeah, that's what I do. 2021 is just more of the same, getting some more clients, doing some more projects, and saving some people some money. And I save them money on pretty much everything, but I do it in a way that they don't have to get rid of any labor. So that 149 grand a year is all overhead and maintenance and just soft costs, operation costs, all that good stuff. So that's what I do.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Everybody else is quiet so far,
Oh,
but I
yeah,
think
great to meet you too. Sorry, guys.
hey, Rashad. Carl, I think is technically next if he's alive.
I'll go. I'll go if you guys want me to.
Well, we're going out of order if we do that, but I'm cool with it. If you're cool
Okay.
with it, Christina.
Yeah, if Carl isn't if Carl isn't ready, then I'll.
looks like he ran off.
Oh, okay. So, well, I'll just start off with my name is Rashad, and I'm actually a part-time grad student at SUNY Brockport right now.
Awesome.
And I started real estate about 7 months ago with my best friend. He is also my teammate. I went to SUNY Canton to get my bachelor's degree. So
Awesome.
I started there, played basketball for a few years, and we won a championship down there. And then I think about like 9 months ago, me and my teammate, we were like, how are we gonna make more money? So then we started looking on YouTube. Started seeing like how we're gonna make more money. So then we started doing that. And then we finally saw real estate. So then we actually flew down to New York City and then took 2 seminars about real estate, about wholesaling and everything like that. So then after we did that, we actually created our own business, and we started that literally the day after. So
Oh wow.
yeah, we got our LLCs, we got everything like that. And then we started wholesaling, but it kept taking a little bit longer. And like sellers weren't calling and buyers weren't, picking their phones up and everything like that. So we're getting a lot of, misleads and everything. So we continue to do it. And then we actually took our business national. So now we nationally invest in different areas, like literally across the nation. So we
That's
have
cool.
about 4 properties right now that we have. And then we also sold a property last month in December, which is right in my hometown, like literally 5 minutes where I grew up from. So we sold that property, and then we started getting into owner financing. So now most of the properties we do, we get it under like owner finance. So we just do that instead of doing a whole wholesaling, and then mostly not having to put our money into the property to do a fix and flip. So we like basically saving money. So
you're in the right place, because Joe Labera, the host, is probably the largest wholesaler in Rochester.
Yeah, literally, like Joe's my mentor. Me and Joe came to my first property, the first one I ever had, and I was back in like July. And then he was telling me all about it, but he was running through his numbers so fast. I was like, how the hell is Joe doing that? So then I asked him, like, Joe, how the hell are you doing this? And then he was like, this is how you're supposed to do it. This is how you're supposed to talk to the seller. This is how you're supposed to break it down. This is how you're supposed to get it to a certain price. So then I took all that knowledge and I started learning from Joe. So then every single property that I always get, I just send it to Joe, and he gives me feedback on it. He'll either buy it or he'll either be like, all right, no, this isn't really a good one. It doesn't fit my buying criteria. So then I'm like, okay, boom. And then I'll just go back to the seller and bring it down.
Sweet.
Yeah, so it's been great.
Well, great to meet you.
Thank you, Andy.
Carl, are you back? No, Carl. All right. Christina, alphabetical order.
Okay, so yeah, I just said in the group that I'm a real estate agent. I got licensed in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2008, I bought a duplex. I lived in half of it for a while and rented the other half out, and then eventually moved out. And I've had multiple other houses since then, but that's always been like my baby, and I've always kind of loved it, and had good relationships with my tenants for the most part. Picked up 2 other small single family houses in the suburbs, and I'm about ready to buy another one. But I think that in order to grow the way that I want to grow, I need to potentially be open to partnering with somebody that can do private money, that can help me grow faster than having to keep saving up like the 20% down for every property I buy one at a time, especially because I have other things that I want my money to do. So I guess I'm here for that, to learn about it and to get over some of the, some of the feelings that I have about what you have to pay.
Oh yeah, I know.
In order to do that. So, but as long as the numbers work, I keep reminding myself of that. So I think I need to take some time to build relationships with people in the group and figure that part out. But I'm also, I have no interest in wholesaling, but I do have some interest in learning about like maybe investing in a small apartment complex someday, or some kind of like light commercial. I really do enjoy doing like single families more than multifamilies right now, but It's just something that I have a passion for, and I just want to start learning from people who do the investment side. I have a few clients, real estate clients that I work with that are investors, but I don't want to grow that business per se. I have a good, steady real estate business, and that's my career. But this is my like kind of blooming passion for myself.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. That's cool. Did you make the meeting last week on private lending?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Because there
was
was
there.
there was a lot covered.
Yeah, it was very
One
informative
night.
and it was very helpful. And I took some notes and everything makes complete sense to me. And I think for the most part, I understand how it works, but I am interested in meeting with Joe McGuire if and when he'll meet with me, because I would like to kind of do like a mock-up of like a sample deal and see like how would it work and what would it look like and stuff like that. And of course, the big pieces would be like him getting to know me or whoever.
Yep. Yeah, just give him a call. He's always open to chatting, especially to members of the group and people who come through this side of the business. He's he is a local resource that should be leaned on whenever possible, for sure. So
I'll start there then.
awesome. Welcome. Thank you. Omari, if you're there. Am I pronouncing your name right? Awesome.
Yeah, you got it perfect.
Score. All right. I love it.
So it's bedtime right now for my two kids, so I'm kind of hiding out. You guys won't hear much from me.
Okay.
Me too. I'm hiding from them.
Yeah. So yeah, I own several like single families and doubles in Rochester, and I do some flips, but mostly buy and hold. Normally what I try to do, even if I ever have a flip, I'll normally try to wholesale it first. If somebody comes along and wants to purchase it, I'm more than happy to sell them and not have the extra work at times. But if what I end up keeping, I just decide whether I want to flip or kind of do it as buy and hold.
Awesome.
Yeah, I guess what I was looking for with this group, this group's always been very informative. I stopped coming for a while just because I have two young kids and I was at a time crunch. But I'm definitely happy to be back a part of the group.
Awesome. Welcome back. What's your goal for this year? What are you looking to get done in 2021?
Honestly, it's just more of the same, I guess. I would like to get 2 houses flipped this year and see what else I can really wholesale. Same thing as Christina, as far as using private money wouldn't be a bad idea. I have reluctance to take loans in general. So it's always kind of like freaked me out a little bit for whatever reason. So I just buy everything outright so far, but it's not the best return on investment, in comparison to actually investing with loans. It's just a question of if I want to deal with the loans in general. So I'm just doing a bit of learning in that department.
I think everybody is. I think this is going to be a good year and a good opportunity for a lot of people who want to expand just based off of the people who are going to be exiting the business due to the eviction moratoriums and places that were occupying buildings closing down and now they need to be renovated and people don't want to deal with it, and the usual slew of retirements and other stuff. I mean, Rochester's been one of the top 5 housing markets in the country for the last like 5 or 6 years. So, that might not continue depending, but there's going to be good opportunities to snatch up some stuff, I think. So I think you're in a good spot for it. Carl, are you there yet? Or are you AWOL still? Dang.
Yeah, I don't know where
ditching us and leaving us here to hang on our own.
Carl's like, I'm not coming today.
He's like, I'll just be logged in. I'm gonna go eat my dinner.
Yep,
I don't want to
yep.
talk to you guys. My kid just got home from soccer, so there's like all this background noise now. I'm like, really? He's 7. Oh, anyway.
Oh, but I did have a question though, because I'm actually in the Rochester area,
Yep.
and me and my partner wanted to start doing fix and flips because we have a great like hard money lender that like, really wants to use his money and everything like that. And I told Joe this before the meeting, and I was gonna go over it with the whole group and everything like that. But we were just looking to see like which areas in Rochester that it'll be like a hot area for us to like start or attack, or the contractors we should use, or
everybody's got a different method for sure. So there's definitely hot up and coming areas in the city, and out away from certain parts of the city. And it depends on what your class of tenant is you're looking for, or if you're just looking to flip it. There, your where you buy and what you pay are going to be very different depending on what neighborhood you go to.
Okay.
And your quality of tenant will change depending on the class of property in the neighborhood. So, I mean, that's just like any other city in America. You can apply those rules anywhere, but you're in the right place to find out about Rochester for sure, because there's lifers in this group that have most of their holdings and most of their experience right here. So I am not one of those people, but I have been involved in turning around a few neighborhoods in my day from when I was a Home Depot guy. So I was a Home Depot guy for 10 years. I ran the pro desks in Rochester and in Syracuse, but I had a lot of clients involved in everything from when they leveled Fulton Ave and rebuilt everything with a couple of different larger construction firms, and turning over the neighborhood of the arts and putting Nosh and 3 Heads and all that over off of University. That was all kind of the evolution.
That's a great area. That's a great area.
Yep, and it started 10, 12 years ago.
Yep.
So it looks like we are going back out of the breakout room in 30 seconds, according to this.
Oh, okay.
So that's not a bad thing. So we can move back to the main group and see how many people ran away, like Carl. I mean, at least Carl left his computer connected. So
yeah. At least he has his computer right there. He has it on.
It's there. He's not there, but his computer's here. Anyway, looks like 10 seconds and we'll be there. Thanks everybody. It was great meeting you all.
Yeah, we're meeting everybody.
Good to meet you guys.
And let's get back into the. Oh, he disappeared. We're back.
Oh, what?
I think this is everybody.
Oh.
Actually, you have 3 new people too, so.
What's up with that? I'll take it.
Yeah.
Good.
So let's see, we have.
Here we are. Sorry,
Jay's
my
on,
microphone was
right?
off.
Yeah, it muted everybody when we came back in.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yes, Joe, I was saying there were a couple new people, 3 new people.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, welcome. We just got, they probably wondering where everybody was.
We figured out Carl's not at his computer, which was pretty amusing.
Okay. So everybody, I know, hopefully everybody got some really good value and actually made at least some good connections as far as for the breakout rooms. It's a really good way to be able to get a little bit more personal with everybody and be able to at least answer some questions. And again, it probably answered some questions and maybe raised more. So if anyone has questions about what they were going over in the breakout room, please unmute yourself and feel free to ask. Anyone have any questions that they want to go over, anything? Is everybody muted?
How many members are part of the group? I don't know if I got that number.
I think 200 and a little over 240.
Wow.
Hey, Joe, this is Dave. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I learned that I need some more deals to flip this year. We only have 2, and it's January 20th.
Oh my gosh! Hey, that's actually, it's not bad for the start of the year.
Yeah. Not bad.
No, but yeah, everybody's out there. I wanted people to be able to see exactly what they needed to do to be able to get up and running, you know, just got, at least as far as for what they're looking to do. Because sometimes I've had a lot of people call me up and they're like, Joe, I need to get more deals. I want to do this. I want to do that. And what I found out was that a lot of them were stagnant or just flatlined for a little while. And they were doing the exact same thing. So over the last couple of weeks, I'm like, okay, what you've done has gotten you to where you are now. Now you want to go here, but you're still in the same thing that gets you here. So that's why I had everybody ask that question. What are you going to do above and beyond what you've already done? Okay. So, you know, like with you, I tell everybody in the network, like this group is fantastic for networking, you know, and that's why we love the breakout rooms. And at least like, so now everybody knows he's looking for properties, you know, David. So, and, but yeah, that's great, you know. But you got to call me too. Can you hear me? You're muted. Can you hear? You're muted.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Yeah, we'll give you a call.
Yeah,
I'll have Jody call you.
Absolutely.
I've been busy with our 11 unit trying to get that stabilized, and
yeah, well,
I'll have him call you.
I'm going to make you sick on how many deals you've lost by not calling me, but we'll talk about that.
David, I will warn you, calling him once will not work.
You got
yeah, we know, Leon.
I never know what I'm going to have. What can I say? But hey, you know, look, David and Jody are doing fantastic. Please. Oh, that's great.
We're doing good.
Does anyone else have anything they want to talk about or anything that they want to expand on from what they were talking about on the breakout sessions?
Oh, I do, Joe.
Go ahead.
Yep. So what I was talking about on the breakout session was trying to figure out an area for me. Oh, I'm located in the Rochester, New York area. So me and my partner were trying to figure out an area where we should do our first fix and flip, like a hot prospect area, and the contractors, you know, just the whole process to, you know, just to fulfill that.
Anyone have any advice for Rashad?
Yeah, because Andy helped me out in the break room as well. So I wrote all that down. Well, here's the thing. You know, that's kind of it's not an easy question to answer. All parts of Rochester you can make money in, okay? And right now, it just depends on what you're used to. Some of the people we know, they just want to focus on areas and just in the suburbs. Some people want to be in the outer, way out in the outlining areas. Some people like doing stuff in the city. Some people like doing stuff in the nicer parts of the city. It really varies on whatever it is you're looking to do. Now, right now, with the way prices have been going, even in the city, prices have just been out of hand. And what I've noticed is, and I've also done the exact same thing too, because look, I'll do stuff in, you know, the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 range, and I'll do stuff in the $50,000 to $80,000, $100,000 range. Okay. And because properties have been so scarce, there's been a lot of areas that are now up and coming. Because perfect example, and everybody knows, Culver Road. The east side of Culver Road, everybody and their grandmother wanted it. Prices were driven so high up, a lot of people were getting priced out. So now it's going over to the west side. Okay. And areas, houses which used to sell for like $30,000, $40,000 are selling for $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, $110,000 over there right now. Okay. It's so a lot of people, what they're doing is that they're trying to find those areas that they know are, you know, that they know are going to be going up in prices. So if you find places like over on the west side of 14609, which is by Winton Village, that's a very hot area to go into. Be careful. Winton Village. Okay. You know, check out. I found a double over there on, it was on Bowman Street. We ended up picking it up for 30. I sold to my partner, actually. I gave it to him for $35,000. Wow. He put about probably 20 into it. It's worth about 120. Oh. Okay. Whereas 2 years ago, it was nowhere near worth that. But again, those areas are jumping over that area there, you know. And then there's other areas which,
you know, and by the way, please feel free to interject other people. But, you know, I know like we're also targeting Mount Reed Boulevard area. So you got Emerson, Lyle Avenue, Driving Park, all those areas, all those properties have gone up in prices.
Mhm.
But again, if you're not as experienced in those areas, you know, you should call it, again, don't take what I say as gospel. Okay, because again, what works for me may not work for anybody else. Okay, you know, we ended up, you know, so there was a house on over there off of Driving Park, which I thought, you know, I'm thinking, you know, can we get it for 45 grand? I'm thinking there's no way. My partner's just like, we could sell it for 100. I'm thinking you're out of your mind.
Oh yeah, in that area,
Yeah. It sold off market. The realtor said, please don't put this on the market. It sold. I fell on the floor.
What?
And, you know, so what's happening is that with what, you know, because everybody's having a hard time trying to find properties.
Yep.
And like for you, Rashad, obviously you're looking for your first one. So you need to make sure.
Yeah, the numbers have to, the numbers have to be right. And I have a private money lender too as well. So everything has to like.
So you're ready to go. Yeah, everybody, like, Rashad needs a property. Find something.
like he is ready. Like he's edgy.
Text him.
He's like, he's Joe. He's calling. He's like, Rashad, I'm ready. I'm like, hold on. I got to talk. I got to get the numbers right because I just don't want to be like, okay, yep, buy this, and then your money's gonna be like this, and then you're gonna make this. Boom. Like the numbers have to be right. Because remember, that's what you taught me, Joe. Like if the numbers are right, it's gonna make sense.
1% doubt, get out.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And because right now, you know, so a lot of people, yes, everybody's having a hard time finding properties. They're still out there. People are still doing deals. Attorneys are still jammed up. 30-day closings are taking 40, 45 days. So they're out there. You just got to work harder to get them, you know? And so what's happening is what I've been seeing is a little bit of a shift. So people used to stay in the suburbs. Are now just like that one on Bowman Street. They're still making the same amount of money, sometimes more, with less money invested.
Right. Right.
So you have a higher rate of return. But again, these guys are experienced. They know what the heck is going on. So you got to be able to look. You know, you want to look in the fringe areas over there of the South Wedge. You know, and then there's obviously got the 19th Ward.
Yep. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That 19th Ward now it's going instead of being what is that? It's going to be west of Genesee Street.
Genesee.
On the east side of Genesee Street. It used to be just Genesee, Thurston toward Genesee Park Boulevard. Now it's gravitating toward the other side. But, I don't want to be a pioneer. I don't want to be the first one to do that in that area there. Pioneers are the first ones to get shot at. Okay? I don't want to get, I don't want to take that risk. I'd rather see people making those numbers and then I'll start going into those areas.
Okay. Because I have my virtual assistants as well, and they're making like close to like 1,000 calls a day in those types of areas. So they're target marketing like Rochester properties and everything like that. So
yeah, you'll know it's going to be all based on the numbers.
Okay.
A lot of people are saying no to a lot of deals because everyone's asking an arm, a leg, and half a foot for property. So the off-market ones are the ones, especially people that have owned them for an extremely long time. Those are the ones that go after.
Okay.
And anyone else want to add on to that? Anything as far as for where they think areas that are up and coming?
Yeah, I'm writing this all down. So yeah, if anybody else wants to tell me, I'll just write it down as well. Thank you, Joe.
No problem. Anyone else have any other areas they know that it's up and coming? Did I hit them all, or is everybody muted?
I think you might have hit them all, Joe.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you.
No problem, Rashad. No problem. Anyone have any other questions you want to go over? Don't be afraid to ask, by the way.
Joe, can I ask a question, please?
You can ask whatever you want.
Thank you. I just want to present to the group. I talked to Scott Spear in some length about his storage unit ventures, And I just want to know if I can make contact, if anyone in this group might know of a storage unit owner, a facility owner in the area that could possibly get me in contact with him or her so that I can start pick that person's brain about what to do to dive into it and what have you. If you want to message me or whatever, I'm just putting it out there because that's going to be my primary focus of real estate investment in addition to cash. So I just like to get the word out there, please. And if anyone can give me contact information, I will be grateful. Thank you so much in advance.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he talked to you about Mike Wagner.
Oh yeah, I'm going to his training sessions already.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm looking at those doing that. I got to get on board with that. I just need to have a 29-hour day. That's all. Somewhere.
I know.
Yeah.
But anyone else, the more people, the better to expand my knowledge and what have you. So that's why I asked.
Perfect.
So, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone have any questions about anything that they want to ask about it? Whatever, I don't care if it's a real estate deal, if it has to do with marketing, wholesaling, fixing, flipping, buying, holding. Anything?
I have a question. So is it better to put the properties in your own name, like if it's for rentals, or is it better to put it under an LLC? Because I've been hearing kind of getting mixed feedback about that. And I was even told that if you get it under an LLC, that could impact the kind of loans that you go after as well.
Anyone want to answer that? Well, we got a quiet group tonight. They must be, what do you call them? I can't remember what they even call them now. The ones that don't speak.
Mutes.
I mean, I can try to address that if you want me to, Joe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, typically what you find is that real estate investors, particularly after they get started, they quickly move to having their properties in LLCs. And the main reason why is because of the liability exposure. And in some cases, I know people who have like one property in an LLC. I know others will have like 5 or 10 properties in an LLC, and it's just because of their desire to limit their exposure from a liability standpoint. What I've seen a number of real estate investors do is they'll have one property that is, for sake of better words, they're like property management LLC, where they do a lot of things in that LLC. And then they have another LLC that is associated with, for sake of better words, again, a holding LLC, where they actually hold the properties in. And so what they do is they use the holding LLC to actually be the place where they may have 2 or 3 LLCs. And then what they would do is all the management associated with the LLC. So the property management components of it, that would be done by their other LLC. And so the LLC where they're holding their properties in would basically, and this is not the exact correct terminology, but it basically would subcontract out things to the management LLC, so that now if something happened, the management LLC would be the one that would be liable or at fault or whatever. And that LLC would not have any properties in it. So that then the structure, if you went into a situation where you could pick a whole bunch of things. We've got a whole bunch of lawyers that come on with slip and files and all those sorts of things, lead paint, so who is it they're going to go after? The one thing that you're trying to do when you set up LLCs is you're trying to isolate different properties, different areas. And when you first start off, a lot of people would have it in their own name, but for the most part, people quickly move it into an LLC and have things set up so that they isolate that property from their other assets. Hopefully that addressed your question. If you got other pieces that I missed, please ask.
I just want to expand on that, by the way. And by the way, what was the girl's name who asked that question? What was her name?
Juanita.
Juanita. Okay, Juanita. So basically, put it this way. I have a real life example. All my properties on LLC, so I wouldn't have to worry about getting sued. Okay. So about 2 months ago, I went to my mailbox. I went to get my mail, and I always have a stack of letters, and all of a sudden I see this thing. I always get all this junk mail. All of a sudden I open it, all of a sudden I look, I said, Celino and Barnes, oh, another piece of junk mail. As I flicked over, I see these 2 little green stamps or marks on the back. I go, uh-oh, this isn't junk mail, okay? And I go, this right here is a registered, whatever it is, letter that you have to sign for. So I opened it up. And so Celino and Barnes, I guess the gentleman was jogging down the road, and apparently at the end of the driveway, and I went and looked, apparently there was like a pothole. But it was only maybe about an inch, if that. But right next to that was another hole, which is for the shut off, which is for the city. Forget all that. Bottom line is that a guy was jogging, he tripped. He bruised his arm, he bruised his hip. So seeing all the commercials, he called Celino and Barnes. So now they want to sue. And that's what they're in the process of trying to do. Now my insurance company is handling it. Right? So even if this guy sues me for $100 million, it doesn't matter. It's in the LLC. So he can only get whatever's in that LLC. If there's $1 in that LLC and he sues me for $100 million, he's only getting $1. If there's 5 million, he's only getting 5 million. It helps. It covers your butt. Okay. Obviously the insurance company is going to fight it. At the same time, if that was in my own name, they'll come after you personally, which means if they sue you and they get a ton of money, every time you go to work, they'll take whatever you have, all your possessions. Every time you go to work, he's going to be getting part of your check. That's what they can do. Okay?
And that's why they also recommend that you put each individual property under its own LLC versus having 5 properties under one, because then they can.
I have one LLC that has 9, another one that has 5, another ones that have like 4 or 5 at a time. It just depends. I have properties off of Park Avenue, and I have properties which are more like in C type areas. I don't mix those 2 properties together. Okay. And then we had one that was worth a whole lot of money, and we kept that one in it all by itself. It's about $1,400 to do an LLC if you're going to buy and hold a property, or if you're going to flip it. I don't care if I'm flipping it, I'm putting it in the LLC. Okay. If you're wholesaling a property, you don't need an LLC because you're not really taking title to it. Okay. So, I mean, and check out there. So hopefully I didn't, I just like to let people know that get an LLC. It's well worth it.
Yep. And just
how much have people been actually sued for? I'm thinking if you have $500,000 of liability, is that really shouldn't that cover just about any lawsuit unless it's totally
First of all, everybody loves to hear the word millions. You ever hear someone, I'm going to sue you for $500,000. I'm going to sue you for $1 million. It has a ring.
That doesn't mean they'll get it.
Okay. So I always get more than enough. I know people that have gotten the minimum, and I just like to cover my butt.
Just to interject again, I mean, when you're looking at asset protection, you want to have multiple layers of protection. So you would have the LLC that's separate, the number of properties you want to put into it. I think Joe's example is a good one. Rarely do real estate investors have just one in it, but clearly if you had a property that was very expensive, I mean, it's like worth $2 million, it doesn't make sense for it to be in an LLC with something else. So, so the first piece is, yeah, you want to have LLC. And the point that Leslie brought up was you also want to have insurance so that you have multiple layers of protection in case someone slips and fall over this little crack that's in the driveway.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it doesn't have to be slip and fall either.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah, it could be anything. I just used that as an example.
Yeah, but I was sued on, I love it. The tenant hired someone to go in and do work on a property. They went in and did the work, and then the tenant wouldn't pay him. So he sued me because I own this is New York, I own the property. So what happened was, and actually he sued me personally and in the LLC. I had to go to court and prove that the LLC owns the property. I don't, because the tenant had told him I did. So he sued, you know, they sue everybody in town. You know, they sue anybody walking by the street. So I got myself removed, and then once I was removed, I didn't care about the rest of it. There wasn't anything in it.
Yeah.
Did they win that case? Because you didn't give them permission.
To tell you the truth, it wasn't that long ago, but I don't. Did they win it? I don't think they did, because I didn't know anything about the work, anything about that they had hired someone. So I don't think I did, because I was completely, even though I own the property, I did not authorize and didn't know anything about the work that was being done. But I know I didn't pay. I can guarantee you that I did not pay. So yeah, they maybe it got tossed out.
So I can just interject and say, if Joe would have paid, I know.
Oh, hell yeah. I would remember.
He would know about it. He would remember that.
Has anybody lost the case? And I'm just wondering how much would somebody successfully sued for?
Oh, I can tell you. Well, go ahead, Joe.
I lost. I didn't lose the case, but we settled, and it cost me a few $1,000s on a deal I wasn't even involved in. But the attorney's rationale was, and you know, I understand, this woman was hurt. She was legitimately hurt, had surgery, had multiple, you know, had rehabilitation, couldn't work, all of this, you know, there were damages, and somebody had to pay the damages. And it really didn't matter that I had sold the property, didn't even own it anymore, but somebody had to pay. So it was a negotiated settlement, and I paid some, the person that bought it paid some, the insurance company paid some. And because the argument was, if you go to court, you don't know what the jury's gonna do. And we negotiated a livable, a small amount. And but if you go to court, the jury's sympathy is gonna be with this poor woman who really was hurt. She, for a stupid thing that the owner of the property did.
The one that I know of was actually somebody sued Home Depot. Shocking, I know, somebody sued Home Depot, but they were in a parking lot of a store on a windy day, nowhere near the building, no associates, no carts, no nothing. The wind caught a door of this lady's SUV and hit her kid in the face. She sued and won. No associates at fault, nobody even seeing it, didn't even catch it on camera. Just the police report and whatever else afterwards, and she walked away with a couple $100,000 from Home Depot, just like that, for something you have no control over, no say in, no way to avoid it other than that person's own common sense. But
Is that a settlement?
Home
that
Depot
Home
has
made?
no. They actually figured they would take it to court, and they did not win. And it comes down to Home Depot has deep pockets. If you're a landlord, people are going to look at you and think you have deep pockets, and they're going to take advantage of it. If they think they can get $1 million, they will sue you for $1 million. If you have $500,000 in liability, you will lose your house. That's reality.
I have a question. Hi, this is Keenan. I'm new. If you have a property that's in your name and you have a bank loan, mortgage on it, does the bank ever put up resistance if you want to move that property into an LLC?
Yes.
Not all, but
They still have to have first placement for that lien on the mortgage. So they still want to own that. It doesn't matter that you did a quit claim and put it in an LLC or not, but they need to be informed of it for a whole lot of legal reasons on the backside. They will freak out if you do it and don't inform them.
Sure.
Really want to talk to an attorney. I know people do it. It technically is a default on the mortgage, but people do it every day. So it's.
Yeah.
And
To chime in on that.
Sorry?
To chime in on that, like what Joe was just saying, that people do it every day. Should you then, when you go to refinance, you know, after you do your rehab and everything, would you take the loan out in the business's name, or
It depends upon your lender. See, a lot of lenders won't lend to an LLC. That require, Canandaigua National would. They're one of our vendor members, but CNB will, but most will not lend to an LLC.
Yeah, and most of the big banks won't, and if they do, it's not a friendly interest rate, and part of the reason is that, you know, LLCs come and go every day. They open and close like nothing. You get a hint of a lawsuit, you just liquidate the company and open a new one and move all your assets over. I mean, that happens frequently.
If you're Amazon, they can get a bank loan.
Correct.
In their business name.
And when there was
but you know, small individuals don't have a chance.
Yeah, when there was a credit crunch, even Citibank with credit cards wouldn't give a business credit account to an LLC that was less than 3 years old. And even then, they would make the owner sign a personal guarantee. Big banks stuck for any type of small business lending. Find a credit union, find a Canandaigua National Bank, Lions, somebody who does it all the time, and that's their bread and butter business, is working with small businesses, and use them when you're ready to go. And there are limits, like they will limit, regardless of the LLC thing. I think like Canandaigua will only allow you to have like 4 or 5 mortgages. Maybe it's more now, but it used to be like 4 or 5 that you could have with them at one time. You just have to shop around.
Andy, I just did a refi with Canandaigua National Bank last Thursday. I did 9 properties.
Oh wow!
We had to do two closings and two mortgages. One, they only allow 5, so I had to do 5 in one, 4 in the other one. And yeah, because I had to go from one LLC. I was refining out from another mortgage, and they were great to deal with because they're a smaller bank. And it took 2 hours. Oh my God! But it went smoothly. Oh, I never signed so many papers before in my life. But it went very smoothly. They're a lot easier to deal with. A lot of times, you know, I like going to the small banks, just like you talked about, Andy. You hit the nail right on the head because they are so much easier to deal with. And I definitely like Canandaigua National Bank. I do stuff with ESNL, but most of the, you know, a lot of the stuff I have is with CNB Bank. They are, well, one time, you know, because I didn't have a W-2. And when I bought my house, I had to refi it out because I originally bought it as a flip, and I moved into it. And they go, Joe, you don't even have a W-2. So I had to show them all the stuff that I had going on, and I had my attorney print it off. I went over, I showed it. They're like, you're good. And they're much easier to deal with than going to Citibank or Bank of America or Chase or whoever. So way easier.
Now, those of you on here with these 10 properties, y'all donating a few of them.
Wait. What was that again, Juanita? I didn't hear you.
Joe, I said those of you with about 10 properties or so, I take donations if y'all, trying to donate a few.
Oh yeah, sure. We'll pass around a hat. We'll all put in a house.
Never hurts to ask. Never hurts to ask.
I like that.
I just want to raise a question or a comment on some of the things in the chat.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
The version of, I would just suggest you speak to your attorney before you go file liens to eat up equity. There has to be consideration. And
Wait, Joe, what's the question, or what are you answering?
There was a question about that, and I'm not an attorney, but there was a comment on, you can protect the property by filing a mortgage against it.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
And you can file a mortgage against it, but if someone wants to challenge it, there needs to be consideration.
Mm-hmm.
And filing the mortgage is not consideration. But I'm not an attorney. I'm just suggesting that you talk to an attorney. I mean, that procedure may work fine, but I know that similar to a quitclaim deed is a valid deed, but it can be challenged and overturned.
Okay.
That's all. But what we give here is our opinions. We don't give legal advice. What is it? Legal, tax, or something else?
Yeah.
Financial.
Financial. Other than you can give me money. It is legal to give me money.
Yeah, we'll pass around a hat for you too.
There you go. I need it.
Nice. Very nice.
Other than that, yes. I'll always check before you. We say our experience and what we think, but we are not the experts.
Nope.
Absolutely.
You would be amazed at being in as many, toe to toe with as many business owners as I've been in the last 20 years, working with real estate development companies and builders and property owners and managers. How many of them don't actually either know or keep up with the current state of their own business? There are lots of pieces of bad information that get circulated, and I've even heard really bad advice from attorneys. I've heard really bad advice from, not in this group, but I've heard bad advice from attorneys. I've heard bad advice from real estate agents. I've heard bad advice from a ton of people. Do your homework, check up on it. At the end of the day, it's on you, not on the person you got the advice from. But I will tell you right now that there are people out there who have properties that they sink a lot of money into for a buy and hold. And, if it's a big enough property and they're not doing cost segregation, I can tell you right now that probably 20% of people doing taxes for property managers actually understand cost segregation and what it does and why you need to do it if you're going to be successful in the long term at managing properties. And owners have no idea. Accountants have no idea. CPAs especially have no idea unless they're specific into real estate. You need to find the right team. So
sadly, Andy, I actually know what you mean. It goes back to my prior life, and it's sad to admit that I do know cost segregation.
It's even better now because in 2018, Trump's tax plan made it so you can prematurely depreciate with bonus depreciation up to $300,000 in capital improvements. So instead of amortizing it out over 15 or 21 years, you could take them all in year one, up to 300 grand. Who doesn't want another 300 grand off their taxes?
I know.
That's a no-brainer. Why are you not doing it? But people don't know. They don't understand it. So they don't do it. And they just piss money down the drain. So we're here to make sure you don't piss money down the drain.
Yeah.
You do your homework.
The other thing too on that, I see a lot of people talk to me and they're like, like, well, Joe, who do you use for an accountant? You know, we use, I use Chris Sardone. He's also part of this group, and he's fantastic. I've talked to some people, they'll go to H&R Block, and I just want to shake them because they're leaving so much money on the table because, well, it's only like 75 or $100. And I'm like, it's costing you way more than that. So again, and you know, through this group, don't be afraid to reach out to get recommendations as far as for attorneys and accountants and whatever questions you may have, because you get what you pay for.
Yeah, you do.
Absolutely.
I can tell you right now that there are two other real estate groups that meet up in Rochester that I've been to, and there are members who don't come here that listen to their attorneys and their accountants, and they didn't realize that the courts opened up for a couple of months doing evictions. They were just told, no, the courts are closed, we're not doing anything. So their lawyer basically told them, sorry, you can't get anybody out, and they missed their window. They had the chance to get people out, and they couldn't do it because their lawyer had no idea what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So vet your people carefully.
Yeah. And I tell people, if you need brain surgery, you're not going to go to a podiatrist. They're still doctors, but they all have their own specialties. Same thing with
let me interject here real quickly. For those people who are new on the call, if you go to the website, you'll see some vendor members out there. When you come to a real estate investment association like Freedom First, one of the key things that you get is individuals who have a different view, I'll use those words, but clearly a different understanding around what the needs are from the standpoint of individuals who are interested in being real estate investors. So if you go to the website on there, you would see two people given the discussion that's going on now. Chris Sardone, who Joe Lavavera has already talked about, and he's been my own personal CPA he gets upset because I say, 30 plus years, and he'll get upset and say, it's been more than 30 years. Why you say 30 plus years? But so in other words, I've used him for a while. He is highly competent in anything associated with real estate and how you would do your taxes or anything else associated with accounting. He's taught for more than 30 years, he's taught at MCC. Those are some of the people that's the type of people that make up the folks who are on the website as vendor members. Clearly, we don't vet anyone. Another person that I would mention would be the attorney who helped set up Freedom First. So Steve Peterson is that person. So if we were going to talk about basic closings, he would be able to handle that. But if I was going to say, Steve, can I assume a mortgage or not? He can answer that question, and he can tell you how you could assume a mortgage, even though it may not be assumable. I'm using that as an example so you get an understanding that there's a person, and Joe's laughing because we talked about this today, Joe McGuire. But basically, you want someone who understands what it is that you need to do and be able to answer the questions that you have as a real estate investor. So that's one of the key things you get. You're always looking for a power team. And for real estate investors, there's three key pieces. One is the accountant, the other one is the attorney, and the other one is where can you get the properties from? And so there are real estate brokers that's listed out there. So you can look at the website and you can get those things. The other key thing that you get is, and you can hear it in the discussions that we've had so far, people aren't telling you, you can't do this. This won't work. This is not something that can be done. we are here and we can tell you, we've done these things and these things work. These are the things that you can do and be successful. The guy who is running this meeting, Joe Lababera, is one of the most successful real estate investors I know. We're going to go into how many properties he does each year. We're going to go into, I've always tried to figure out what his net worth was, but I haven't gotten able or close to being able to do that yet. So, but he's very, very successful. He started off doing construction and now he just does real estate investing and he's very, very successful at doing it. And although he's one member, we have a number of members who are successful in that way. So
speaking of successful members, Scott Spear actually dialed in and is here on the call via phone. So no camera tonight, but he did join us about 5 minutes ago.
Awesome.
So hi Scott. We were saying that we missed you terribly earlier.
Scott, are you there?
Yeah, I'm unmuted now. What's going on, everybody? And Joe, I'm not a quitter. I'm a winner. You need to be here with me, Joe Lababera. I heard you all the way from Arizona calling me a quitter. So you're the quitter. You quit traveling.
Your retirement party.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
For those people who don't know, Scott, he's one of those folks that fall in that category I just talked about, of successful members of Freedom First who, well, started off in corporate life and then decided they're going to be a real estate investor. And I think it's safe to say that most of his successes he would attribute to Freedom First. So someone had a question earlier associated with doing storage units. Scott Spear is the guy who now is traveling across these here United States, looking at buying storage units across these here United States. So Scott, you can call me back when you get to my hometown of Houston, and I'll tell you a couple of places that, is the good part of town and a couple of places that's not so good. So, but that's what this group is about. One of the main things we do is we have one main goal. This is a not-for-profit organization. That means that all the things that we are doing, we basically do for free. And our main objective is to help you be successful. So keep the questions coming, keep coming back to the meetings, and our main objective, as I said, is to have you be successful at your endeavors associated with real estate investing.
Yeah, and I'll echo that I've been fortunate to have some good luck and good fortune in real estate, and a lot of it has to do with FFREIA and all the people I've met and dealt with and networked with and all that. So, if you're new to the group, keep coming to the back of the meetings, ask questions. I still ask questions. I don't know everything, and I doubt I ever will. So, but keep asking questions. Sorry, I'm not on video. I'm too ugly for video, but I'm on the phone and we'll listen and I'll answer any questions people have.
Anybody have any questions that they want to go over? I know we've been touching upon a lot of stuff tonight.
Well, I do. Nobody else wants to ask. I'm going to ask.
Go ahead, Juanita. The ones that ask the most questions, by the way, and this is statistically true, usually make the most money. And I am not kidding you.
Thank you for that. I need that in my life right now.
Go ahead.
With the wholesaling, someone said that there's different lists that you can get sellers leads from, but then you want to build a network of buyers. Would that be like this group here?
Yes.
Okay.
We love buying.
Okay.
Okay.
And I just learned a little bit about wholesaling just last night. So it's interesting to be able to actually make money off of properties without having to use your own money. So it's a little scary to think about how you do it, but I mean,
it's not scary. Don't be scared. Be nervous, but don't be scared.
Okay.
Actually, be excited, nervous. and it's a great way to start. That's how I got started.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be blowing y'all list up. We on a email distribution list or something like that.
This is a great place to network. And I tell people hook up with as many wholesalers as you can. Even if you're another wholesaler.
The website has a list of members, which we're cleaning up. We're trying to fix some stuff on the website. So the list of members is a little hard to get through right now, but we'll have it up and running in another few weeks. Once we fix
another
the
thing
back end.
too, Andy, another thing too, correct me if I'm wrong, on the FFREIA Facebook page, if somebody has a deal, they can put it up there. If somebody has a deal they want to talk about, they can put it up there and people can answer their questions and stuff like that too, right?
Yep, we have a FFREIA Facebook page and a Facebook group, and the group would be the place to post, and the group is members only, however. So you have to be a paid member current with FFREIA to participate on that particular forum. We've got a LinkedIn group, we've got a LinkedIn page, we've got all sorts of other social media contacts that we use, but that's the best place. Facebook is really probably the highest trafficked of all of them, and then the website is the other real resource.
And just so that everybody knows, I know like Scott's been able to live his dream and travel all over the country. I've been able to quit my job, thank God. And it was all because of the networking through this group. It's $169 to join this group, which is nothing. I think it should be a heck of a lot more than that. At the same time, this is a non-for-profit, but we forget all the discounts, forget all the stuff you get to do, especially because you're going to be using them anyways if you're a serious real estate investor. The networking alone and the knowledge is just, it's so invaluable. I can't begin to explain to you, because I would not be where I'm at today if it wasn't because of this group. That is 100% without a shadow of a doubt. And you got people like Leon and Susan and Joe McGuire, they're doing it, and Andy doing all this for free, and how they find time to do all this, I have no idea. Okay. And that's just my plug for the group. If you're really serious and you really want to treat this like a business instead of a job and have that job mentality, want to get out of it, you need to get involved in this group, because you'll start to see in this group, you have people who loan money, people who buy, sell, fix, flip, everything in between, everything that you read about, everything you've seen on TV about, it's right here, right in front of you right now. Okay. So, and I'm off my box, or soapbox, or whatever you want to call it. Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there a way in the chat that you could provide the real estate attorney and the real estate accountant's name and number?
Yep, they were, I think you probably missed it. They were on the slideshow at the beginning, and they are on our website as well. So what I'll do is I'll actually post you a link to go right to the website, and you can pull their contact information right off our website.
Okay, and you're gonna put it in the chat?
Yep. I'll do it right now. Just bear with me while I get the page.
Perfect. Thanks, Andy.
Yep.
I thought she was asking me to do it. I'm like I'm afraid to touch my screen because who knows where it's going to go. I'm not computer literate, people. I'm just telling you right now.
For those of you that are into flipping houses, this investor said something last night at a seminar. She said, it's not what it costs you, it's what it makes you. And when she said it that way, and I know for those of you that have been doing it for the longest time, you've probably heard that statement before, but when she said it, it was like a light bulb went off in my head in terms of how you should be looking at it and approaching it.
He's 100% correct. If you're buying, it all boils down to what you're going to buy the property for and what it's worth.
Absolutely. And don't forget, we're a nonprofit. If you have an LLC or you're a sole proprietor in your real estate investing, your dues are tax deductible. So you can just knock 25% of the $169 right off. And if you're doing any type of property management or investing or flipping, you're getting a 2% rebate for being a member of FFREIA from Home Depot that they send you in a gift card every 6 months. So it takes you $8,800 worth of purchases in 12 months to pay for your FFREIA membership in full. And if you can show me a house you can flip or a number of properties you can manage and only spend $8,000 a year at Home Depot, I want your business.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, Andy's right on that. And, you know, and Juanita, obviously, you know, what I tell people is some people get scared of some of the numbers, but she's 100% right. You know, sometimes when you go to get loans on these places, people freak out over 12%. But you know, if I'm buying a $200,000 house and it's costing me $100,000, and I got to put 30 into it, and by the time I'm done with closing costs and fees and everything else, if I'm going to make $30,000 profit, I'm all in. Okay. So, but if it's worth 200 and they want me to buy it for 150, and I got to put, even if I got to put 10 into it, it's not a good deal. Okay. Between that, holding costs, closing costs, everything else, and then capital gains tax. Okay. But yes. So bottom line, what are you going to buy it for? What are you going to sell it for? And what's it going to cost you in the middle to fix it up? And that's the same thing with rentals, not just with flips. I use that exact same formula. And again, what works for me may not work for you, but I like to have an escape route or escape hatch. So if I buy it low, if it's worth here and I'm buying it here, okay, and if something happens and I have to sell it, I have this much cushion to play with. So, and for me, also, when it comes to the rentals, you make your money when you buy it, you're making your money in the middle with the rentals, and then you're also making money in the back end when you go to sell it. Okay. And if you're flipping, obviously, you make your money when you buy it, and then you're going to make you make your profit when you sell it. Okay. Did that answer your question, Juanita? Oh, I don't know if she's muted or not.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I did the
just wanna
thumbs up.
Sure. Okay.
Yep.
So it's 8:30 right now. It's almost 8:30. I want to be respectful to everybody here as far as time wise here. If you do want to chat after this, there is a link. You can go onto the FFREIA website. I'm going to go there. I'll be on for a little bit, and where we can actually really network. We can actually talk. It's a room that you go into. I don't know how to explain it. I'm going to let Andy explain it, but it's great for networking. So if you have any properties you want to talk about, or properties you want to sell, or any other questions you want to go over, come join us in that room. You're more than welcome to, because we try to wrap up around 8:30, because I know everybody's schedules and things like that. Okay. And Andy, do you want to explain how that works, or what it is?
Yeah, so it's called Kumo Space. It is a new networking product. It is video and audio, kind of similar to Zoom. It does not have an app yet. So it does not work on your iPhone. It doesn't work on your tablet. It will not work on anything that isn't a browser. If you're using a browser, Chrome is still recommended, because this is like a new product that isn't even, they're not charging money yet. And we're one of the like early beta testers for it. So basically you join, and the closer you are to people who are standing in the room, the louder they are. You can move away from people and they get quiet, and you can have 3 or 4 groups of people networking and talking without having to listen to the other people in the room. So where Zoom, one person talks and everybody listens, you can have multiple separate conversations going, and it's more like an actual in-person networking event versus this. So it's a cool little thing. If you have Chrome, you're in Zoom, we can see you, we can hear you. You don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to, but it does make it easier. You become this little square icon that moves around the room, and you just take your mouse or your touchpad and you click the cursor and you move wherever you click. So it's sort of like a video game, but not quite. And I guess you can use arrow keys, but I don't do that. You can actually move around like you're playing an old school video game with your arrow keys. So whatever floats your boat, I guess.
I can use it. So if I can use it, anybody can.
And because it's
one thing I want to.
Go ahead, Scott.
I was going to say one thing I want to add before we break away, and sorry I didn't get on earlier. Last night or yesterday, I heard about this new app. It's on Apple right now. It's not on, if you have a Android, you can't get it, but on Apple, it's called Clubhouse. Check it out. It's like a super networking site, and people compared it to like a podcast or Instagram on steroids. I guess it's a big up and coming thing in the social media. And as far as networking with people and meeting with people and such, it's quite powerful. I don't know if anybody on this call uses it. I just heard about it last night.
What's it called again, Scott?
Clubhouse, CLUB house. Yeah.
Yeah. Grant Cardone is all over it.
Yeah, but you got to have an invite from someone else who's already on, because it's still in the beta phase also.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
And we're going to hop over to Kumo Space. The link is up in the chat box. It's kumospace.com/FREIA meetings. And we're going to be in the AREIS room. So AREIS is the room you want to head to. There's 3 rooms, one for each meeting type that we hold. So you're going to head to the AREIS room. And you can do it now. If you're using the Zoom app, you can open, and there's a link on our website. So if you go to the homepage of FREIA.com, there's a one-click button you can hit to get there.
Right at the top.
Yep.
I have no idea, but I'll find it. Thanks, everybody.
Well, you mean Brandy will find it, and she'll tell you how to get there.
All right. Perfect.
See you, everybody.
Oh, sorry, Scott. Go ahead.
Nope.
I got
See
it.
you, everybody.
Have a great
We'll see you
night.
there.
Thank you. Buy
Thanks,
some
everyone.
real estate.